Hi everyone and welcome to The Good Woo. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and like this video. It's going to help with the algorithm situation that I'm facing. And also if you're watching on Instagram, of course, please give me a like and share this with those you think who have eyes to see and ears to hear this kind of message. So the weekly woo is very important this week. This is a very important week. So I want to make sure that you guys have that. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to place it here right now. If you're watching on Instagram, then you can just look through my feed and see it. It was posted on Sunday. We are in a very important week because we have a new moon on the 22nd that starts off an eclipse season that lasts through July. So we have 3 eclipses basically this summer. Very potent, powerful time that we're in. Of course, we know that. But eclipses are a time of great change, right? They're node points in our life, points of destiny, where our life alters, our course alters based on the choices that we make. And we are in the week leading up to that. Now, any week leading up to a new moon is what we call a dark moon phase. And that just means that the energy of the moon is at its ebb, right? It's less light from the moon, so less energy for us. It is a time to rest, rejuvenate, hydrate, let go, release, surrender. And it's so important that we do that this week because this particular dark moon phase is really amped up because not only are we going into this new moon, we're going into a whole eclipse cycle. So the more you can rest, the more you can release. This is a great time to fast, detox, Epsom salt baths, swim in the ocean, cry, sweat. Now, when I say sweat, this is an interesting part of a dark moon phase because you may enjoy more of the yin type activities, stretching, tai chi, dancing, but we are leading into this eclipse season. So what could feel really good is a nice sweat, a workout. And I would suggest something in nature because the more you connect with the cycles of nature, the more healthy, connected in mind, body, and spirit you're going to be because you are a part of nature. There's no way to separate us from that. We are that. So when we're in a dark moon phase, it is really helpful, and I spoke about this in the weekly woo, which I'll link here for you if you're watching on YouTube. It's really important that you take some time with pen and paper and write down with the title on the top of the page, what do I need to release right now to be aligned with my highest path, to be living my true nature? And then you begin to write. There is going to be so much vital information in that in that practice right now, in that exercise, that you will be able to use as we move through this eclipse cycle. Because that release is going to come in phases, right? One thing I specifically want to bring up that we can all collectively be working on is the idea of the polarity of good versus bad, dark versus light. This is an important thing to be focusing on and looking at right now because especially when you go into an eclipse season, which is, the light of the sun being eclipsed by the shadow of the earth and the moon being eclipsed, by the shadow of the earth. It's the brightness and the shadow coming in to mute the light that we usually access. So this time is going to really illuminate where that polarity is not working for us. And what I mean by that is we can spend a lot of time and energy blaming other people, circumstances, governments, our past for how we're feeling in the present moment. And we can vilify those things, make them bad, to alleviate some of the pressure we may feel. But the truth is, we are responsible for how we feel and what we think. So blaming is really an illusion. It isn't real, and it doesn't work. we can move with it, with blaming, and live self-righteously, but ultimately self-righteousness ends up in isolation, disconnection from the people that we love, and usually a certain amount of daily animosity that can create illness and disease within our physical body. So this particular dark moon phase, think about, where are you blaming other entities, be that people, places, things, circumstances, governments, right, viruses, whatever? Where are you blaming things for your present state? And how much power can you take back by stopping that energetic cycle and owning that how you feel, your health, what you think, how you think, is all up to you? And can you release in this dark moon phase the idea that anything outside of you is responsible for your emotional well-being, your happiness, your joy? It's easier said than done, but that's, this eclipse cycle is really going to bring that to our attention. This idea of self-sovereignty and self-mastery. And when we can do that emotionally and energetically, it then happens physically, financially, right? It has a trickle-down effect into the material world. So another thing with the dark moon phase, which is so potent to work with, is your dreams, right? This is the time of the moon cycle where our dreams are going to be most potent, most laden with symbols, with messages, with memories, right? And if you jot them down when they wake you up or when you wake up in the morning, and you take this week leading up to the new moon and get to the day before and really look at these dreams, really reread them, really try to connect the dots, you are going to get some really juicy information as to what you need to let go of and how your belief systems are getting in the way of you being truly happy and living your true nature. So lots of information here in this video. Once we hit a new moon, we have 2 weeks of that energy being very potent. Then we have a full moon, right? And then the energy starts ebbing and waning like it has now, right? And then you go into the week before the new moon, which we're in, which is where it's the time of shedding, release. It's the cycle of the moon is so powerful if you align with it. Because, like, for instance, this week, it's not a good time to try to manifest anything. It's not a great time to make, initiative decisions. It's not a great time to start anything. It's the best time, though, to let go, to end, to break up, to rest, right? To really think about what's dead weight in your life and where can you release it. The new moon, right, and specifically the 2 to 3 days right after the new moon, is the most potent time to begin something, to initiate something. So it's sort of like a feline cycle where we rest right now, we're resting, and then when that new moon comes, we pounce. But you don't want to pounce unless you're really clear about what you've let go. So it's a decluttering time in mind, body, and spirit, and physically in your home. So if you start feeling really bogged down this week, get rid of some stuff. Give some stuff away. What is one man's junk, right, is another man's treasure. Exfoliate. Get the salt scrubs out. Exfoliate your skin, right? Shed, release, and forgive. Easier said than done. Right now, there's a lot to forgive. But part of that sovereignty, that self-sovereignty, is about forgiveness. Because without forgiveness, we stay on this blame track. And that vibration of blame siphons so much of our vital chi energy, of our prana, of our life force, of, you know, what keeps us alive. It is a drain. It's like blaming is its own vampire. And when you're actively choosing to let it take you, right, that's when we have to rethink it. I know, easier said than done. But hopefully this is why you watch these videos, to be challenged, because you want more for yourself and you want to be living optimally. And so I present this to you this week. Thank you so much for viewing. Please send feedback. If you enjoyed this video, let me know and share with me how you work with this time and this phase. Because once we get this new moon going, we really, it's like a roller coaster into rapid, not only changes, but a rapid evolution of our internal state becoming external. So use this week. I don't want to say that it's like a calm before the storm, because that's not accurate. It's you're about to go on an even more epic journey than you've already been on. So you want to rest and make sure that, your stockpiles are good and you've gotten rid of the stuff that you no longer need, so that you're really on point for this summer. This summer offers a lot of juicy goodness, a lot of good energy. And it also offers many situations where we're going to have to choose to be the one who is in integrity, right? The one who speaks with peace, the one who is the calm expression. So use this week. If there's people you need to forgive, write their names down and write each of them letters, as hot and heated as it needs to get. And then burn those pieces of paper after you've read it aloud. And as the paper burns, let it go, so that you can have a fresh magnetic field. Because when we harbor pain and resentment, we're clogging up our ability to receive the vibration of abundance. And I know y'all want that abundance mindset. I know that I do too. So it's like, do you want to be right and hold on to what those people did and those people are doing? Or do you want to let that go so you can be living your best life no matter what's going on around you? And that's what I want for my viewers, for my followers, and for my clients. Thank you so much for viewing, everyone. Enjoy this dark moon, because on the other side, it's go, go, go.